Coach, what does a win like that say about your group responding from last night, less than 24 hours later, to do that here today?
Yeah, it was a really good effort. But I thought last night was a good effort too. So, I think we played two really good games last night. We didn't get the result we wanted to. I liked tonight that we did it the right way. We didn't cheat. They had a couple good defensemen out of their lineup tonight, and it was, I thought, imperative of us to make the game difficult on them, especially early. Play behind them, hunt their D, make them uncomfortable, and I thought we had a really good mindset in that first period to make the game difficult on them, and we got rewarded for it.
So Yuri has 11 shots on goal yesterday, no goals, and then 3 here today. Is that just hockey?
Yeah, that's hockey. It's funny how that works. He could have had 3 or 4 last night, and something that we've been pounding on all of our young guys over the last 3 years is process. So much of their life as young forwards especially, and this goes back to Paterka and Quinn and all the way through, they judge their worth because other people have talked to them about their worth through points only. And the reality is, say you're a 50, 60 point guy in the NHL, and hopefully all of these guys end up more than that, but that's a lot of points. It's hard to get. You're going to get those 60 points in probably 40 games, 45 games. There's another 35 to 40 games in an NHL season. So what are you doing in those games that you don't score to help the team win? And if it's nothing, then you're of no use to us. And so I really like the guys. They've bought into that. And Cooley and Rosie are playing winning hockey. Tonight, they both got rewarded offensively as well.
Do you think the Bridgeport game from last weekend really helped you guys here today when it was a 4-goal game going into the first overtime, almost a little deja vu there?
Yeah, we talked about it. I talked about it. You could be worried about bringing it up because it's a bad memory. But I think that's really important throughout the season that you learn from adversity and from failures, and then you grow from it. We let Bridgeport back into that game because we were sloppy with the puck in the second period. And that's what we talked about. Let's not give them free offense. They're going to come. They got a really good team. They got pride. They're going to push. But let's make them earn what they get, not give them free offense. And for the most part, we did a pretty good job of that.
After the game last night, Devin came back on the ice. What was that about?
Oh, I don't know.
Was it...
I've seen Ticker do that too this year. Sometimes, if you didn't feel quite right, maybe you didn't feel how you wanted to feel on your edges. It's also a tight turnaround, so it's not as easy to have a morning skate or get out there this morning because of the 5 o'clock game. Sometimes it's to get your mind right. Maybe you felt off a little bit. And you just want, that's public, but, I've seen Cooley and Rosie and Quinn and guys like that go to the shooting room down in the dungeon after a game where they don't score and they miss some chances. So I think it's just a good example of a young prospect owning his developments and making sure he got himself where he needed to get to mentally to be ready to go today.
So then with that, how did you like the way that you responded today?
I thought Levi was excellent. Not an easy game to play because the shots are few and far between, but then they're high quality. And what he did a really good job of, I thought, was in the first 10 minutes of the second, as they were pushing, they had some real dangerous chances around the net, scrambles, poking at rebounds, and he kept that out, and then he was outstanding on that 5-on-3.
In that same 10 minutes you mentioned, it seemed like puck movement was more difficult for you guys in that time than throughout the rest of the game. What was making things more hard in that portion?
Your opponent, they care. They got a good team. They're trying to win too, and you're just not gonna dominate for 60 minutes. And so they're gonna come out in the second period. That when you're down 4-0, that next 10 minutes of the second period is really. It's probably the game, if they can get it to 4-1 or 4-2 in that segment, it's a hockey game. And if they can't, it goes to 5-0 or 6-0, it's probably over. So, that's going to be a massive push for them. And they did. And that's where Devin kept them at 0 and allowed us to build on our lead.